I am in the largest city of Illinois outside the Chicago area. It was once known as Midway Village because for travelers, it was halfway between Chicago and Galena. We, of course, today know it by another name.
'Cause these are main streets, something about a hometown speaks to me. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. The heart and soul of communities right here on these main streets.
I'm in Rockford, Illinois. The name comes from the ford on the Rock River. If you don't know what a ford is, it's the lowest part of the river that makes it easy to cross. Rockford. I am on State Street, which is Rockford's main street. Even though there is a main street, we're on State Street. We're on East State Street. Across the Rock River is West State Street. Rockford was known for industrial manufacturing in the last century. This century they have retooled and is the home of healthcare and aerospace technology. Rockford is in the north-central part of the state of Illinois, and Rockford is in Winnebago County. It's the county seat. Today it has a population of just under 150,000 people, and I used to come here a lot as a kid, and this is not the Rockford I remember as a child. Rockford, great city. This is Dax Nielsen's drum kit. He is the drummer for Cheap Trick. This is his throne, and out of respect, I'm not going to sit on his throne, but I'm just going to gaze on his kit. This is Rick. This is Dax. They're related. This is your dad?
That's what they tell me, yes.
And what I hear about you guys is that you're originally from Rockford, Illinois. Is that right?
Since I was 8 years old.
Since you were 8.
Yeah.
So Cheap Trick happened when? Can we talk about that for a second?
Let's see. 73, we started Cheap Trick.
Yeah.
And we've been all around the world since then. And now Dax is a part of that.
You're the drummer.
Yeah, since 2010.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It worked out nicely.
Nicely.
Yeah. Just been a musician my whole life and made sure I knew all the music and all the every instrument just in case.
Those are some tight pants.
Yeah. I'm fat everywhere else, every other place, but my legs are skinny.
You're quite the guitarist, though.
I'm a songwriter more than a guitar player, I think.
How many of those Cheap Trick hits did you write?
Almost all of them.
Right. I want you to want me. It has to be played every show you do, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put all my kids through college.
How great is that?
Well, if they would have finished, it would have been great.
You have quite a commitment to this community. What's the commitment about? Is it because since you've been here since you were 8?
My parents moved here when I was 8 years old. My father's an opera singer and a religious singer, and my mother was too. And then I worked at my dad's store on 7th Street in Rockford.
Which was a music store.
Music store.
Yeah.
And I weeded on everybody.
So, Rick, you know you could live, well, anywhere. Why Rockford?
I stayed here because of my family. My parents had their business here. I met my wife here. Mm-hmm. And then we started having kids, and we needed babysitters, so we knew the babysitters here in town.
We've had a really good time in Rockford.
Until now. Okay, great. Okay.
So far, so good. You know, as a kid, I tell the story that we came down here every Easter because my aunt and uncle lived in Rockford.
At the Stockholm Inn?
No.
You didn't go there?
We're going there next.
Get out of here.
No, that's our next stop.
That's I'm one of the owners.
Well, there you go. You want to come? Oh my God, who would have thunk?
So I said we couldn't change anything, and it's good. It's not cookie cutter, but it's great.
And it's iconic in this community.
It is iconic.
Yeah.
I do stuff that I like.
He is me.
He is you. How great is that? So are you Swedish?
I'm Swedish. My last name is Johnson, so.
Well, hello. It's been around for how long?
Since 1968. Yeah, it's a staple in Rockford.
Yeah.
So.
It's a huge restaurant. We walked in and it's like, look at this. And
yeah, 650 seats.
is there a large population of Swedish people?
There is still.
Do they find your menu authentic?
They do, because we have a special Swedish section.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, Swedish pancakes are where it's at.
And you don't have to be Swedish.
You don't have to be Swedish, so.
You'll love them anyway.
All nationalities.
Swedish pancakes, that's what we're doing today. That's the batter? Oh, look at that. This isn't your first, is it?
He's done this a few times.
So then this is served with what?
Butter and then lingonberries.
And lingonberry is really the way to go?
It's the way to go. Ready to go right at the counter, right?
This is so not what I thought. They're so thin. Did I get enough butter? I've lived a sheltered, terrible life. I don't know any Swedish people. Yum. So you have a gift shop as well.
Yep,
A saucy Swede or a naughty Norwegian?
your choice.
Your Good. I know the last thing we really have to do, show me the tradition, would you?
Strumming the guitar
Yeah, good.
for good luck.
The city of Rockford has had a lot of nicknames. The first was Forest City because of the abundance of elm trees. Then it became known as Reaper City because of the harvesting equipment that was invented here. Then Furniture City because I don't know if you knew, but it was the second largest manufacturer of furniture in the United States. Then during World War II, it gave a lot of fasteners to the war effort and became known as Screw City. Okay, I don't really want to talk about that. Now it's known as City of Gardens, Rockford. It's always given a lot. The Anderson Japanese Garden.
Yes.
Does that have anything to do with you?
Well, my mom and dad started it as a backyard project in 1978.
Their home was here on the property?
Absolutely. That's
Okay.
where I grew up.
Yeah.
This is my backyard.
And your dad worked on this?
My dad spent, I don't know how many, thousands of hours out here planting.
Yeah.
Ferns, pachysandra. These are irises that are now done blooming. Never intended to be a public garden. And it just kept expanding and expanding. You know,
Yeah.
This is really their gift. It's my mom and dad together to this, not only this community, but this region.
Yeah.
You know, people come from all over the place. It's awesome to see. This is a 1.5-year project right here.
Yeah.
And the plants were lowered in by cranes. So a pretty massive project.
So what's the difference between a Japanese garden and, my mom's garden?
Well, a Japanese garden uses stone, plants, and water. It's meant to slow you down and use all your senses to take in nature. Pretty cool the impact just being in nature has on people. You hear the birds, hear the ripples in the water. And here it's a place of respect, and it's a place of just being in the moment.
Is this perfect landscape for a Japanese garden?
It is. So in a Japanese garden, they talk about borrowed scenery. So that's the hillside and the backdrop. It kind of makes it all enclosed. And it's supposed to be a place of peace and tranquility. What the garden is for, it's to bring the community together in a beautiful, uplifting outdoor setting. We have weddings out here. We have all sorts of different
that
classes,
would be
Tai
so
Chi,
great.
yoga. This is also where we hold our concerts.
Is it open all year? Or
We're not. We're seasonal, 6 months a year.
are you here on a daily basis?
I am, yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Should you be pruning right now?
They don't let me have scissors or pruners since I do it at home, but not here at the garden.
Take a guess as to which Disney princess has a personal relationship to Rockford. Okay, here's a hint. Just like Rockford, she has a connection to water. Come on, it's easy.
Being diagnosed with breast cancer changes everything, and it happens every single day. Very quickly, patients and caregivers are surrounded by medical care, yet emotionally can feel stranded and alone. ABCD trains breast cancer survivors who offer perspective and compassion that can only come from someone who has found their way back. From diagnosis through treatment and beyond, all services are free and virtual.
Wisconsin's picture-perfect historic downtown Greendale isn't just a great backdrop for photos. It's the perfect place to experience history, get a treat for your furry friend or three, grab some ice cream or a different kind of treat, or slow down and relax. Ask anyone who's made memories here. We'll all tell you the same thing. You just gotta see Greendale. Remember when the American dream was being able to say, I made that, I built that? Wouldn't it be great if your kids and grandkids chose a career that provides that kind of pride with good pay, but without a ton of student loan debt? A 4-year degree isn't the only path to success. We need talented people to make and build. Tell the young people you love that skilled work isn't a thing of the past. It's a bright future.
Ariel in The Little Mermaid. And Jodie Benson, who was the voice of Ariel in The Little Mermaid, guess where she's from? Rockford. Did you guess? So that's Mr. Potato. And the kids don't seem freaked out dancing with the potato. Your family's company?
Family's company, yep.
Yeah.
Been in business since 1932. It's grown to the point now where we're now the chip for Northern Illinois, Southern Wisconsin, and slowly pushing further into Central Illinois.
Are you Miss Fisher?
I am.
Are you really?
Not really, but I worked here for probably about 30-something years.
How long have you owned it?
Since 2007, so do the math.
You do the math.
14.
So what happens first?
So first, when we get our potatoes in, they're gonna be in a giant tote like this that holds about 1,500 pounds of potatoes. We just have a little bit of peel removed on there. The potatoes get scooped up, fling it into the slicer, and then go into the fryer.
Kind of a perfect slice, isn't it?
Every single time, that's
Look
what
at
I
that.
love about it.
Yeah.
This 30-foot long cooker, it does exactly what we need it to do every time, which is to cook the perfect chip. And they just slowly drop the salt down right on top of the chip.
Wow. Do you have any idea how many pounds of chips you put out of here a year?
About 2.6 million pounds of potato chips on a given year.
I bought half of them.
Making it right in Rockford. It's a testament of what we've been trying to do for 89 years.
Chris said he had an emergency to take care of. I said, I'll wait for you here. Hope it's a big emergency. Rockford Art Deli. What do you think it is?
Some people think we sell sandwiches, though.
No, they have to.
Yeah. The big push behind it was the acronym RAD, because everyone's like, oh, that's rad.
A really cool shop.
Super exciting, yeah, growing constantly and always trying to figure out the big thing. And, you know, we just keep trying to do better things and help the community out more and more.
Where did you come from?
My mother.
Yeah.
I've been a hardcore Rockfordian the last, 18 years.
Is that what you guys are called?
Yeah, Rockfordians.
Rockfordian?
Yeah.
And when I look around, it's so honoring of this community of Rockford.
And just a lot of things that were, showing our heritage of what started in Rockford. So this is our press.
Okay.
Screen printing press, right?
See what you mean.
I think it's the humidity.
Would you hold this?
Yeah, I'll hold this one. We'll do a mulligan on that one. There you go. Look at you. You've loaded shirts before.
Never.
I think you're sharking me right now. And then we're just gonna do a nice little line. This is the whole reason I started a retail space. I wanted people to see it happening, like people like to see things made. That's a good swoosh. Whoa, look at that print you just did.
Oh,
That's amazing.
Thank you. Wow, could be the best one yet. Look at.
Woo. Look at
Big.
that. I could do this anywhere. I could go to any big city and I could create this, probably be more successful. But I wanted to make it in Rockford to give people a sense of pride and to make them happy and feel proud about saying, I'm from Rockford.
Oh my Lord, this is the best one yet. And there's some benefits here working here, isn't there?
Yeah, my dog.
Your dog. I love public art. These are the Rock Guardians of Rockford. Commissioned in 1988, and it was done by the sculptor Therese Agnew. I just have one thing to say. Rock on, Therese. It looks like we're on a main street somewhere.
It does,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Looks like a movie set.
It does.
On our campus, we have about 28 buildings total. We have a lot of events out here. We have World War I and World War II reenactments on our grounds.
Have you ever heard the term trench warfare? This is what it's about. World War I replicas of trenches. They're permanent. It's only one of two in the country. The other's in Pennsylvania. The trenches in Rockford, Illinois. Who would have known? So Patrick, we have to talk about the Rockford Peaches.
The Rockford Peaches are really an icon of Rockford's history. The team was founded around World War II by P.K. Wrigley. They had a concern that all the players, the men's leagues, were all off to war. So a group of Chicagoland guys started a league of women's baseball. And the Rockford Peaches were one of the top teams and played for about 12 years.
But it brought crowds out, didn't it?
Absolutely.
When we talk about the sock monkey, we have to talk about the knitting company, yes?
Yes, and they started Nelson Knitting Company about 1853. They made all the socks for World War I and World War II. In 1932, the company added the red heel. So then ladies got the idea of making the sock monkeys so you could cut that part and put it on for the face.
And they're still being made today?
Yes, I have made about a dozen sock monkeys
You have?
myself. The lady who made the first sock monkey, Grace Winger,
How great that you have the actual sock
we have
monkey.
the actual sock monkey.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. They're so well known and people just love these, aren't they?
Yes.
And it's Rockford.
And it's Rockford.
So how long have you had this?
Well, I've had this, I opened up in the year 2000.
It's really well done. Who's?
Actually, I do it myself. It brings you back in time. And that's what my tagline to my museum is, a journey through time.
Yeah.
Now, my first car I ever purchased, John, sits right here. This is Howard Hughes's limo. It was in Hemmings Motor News for sale. And I flew out there and I was all enticed and went out and worked out a deal, brought the car home, started showing it to people. Next thing I knew, I started hunting for more cars. These are the actual hats that Bonnie and Clyde wore the day they got shot. There's bullet holes in the back of the hat.
And that's the actual car from the movie. Is this the actual one?
That's one of.
The Ectomobile.
George Barris signed the hood. I told you about the most famous car we got here. That's the one right behind President Kennedy when he got assassinated.
You know, in all our years of doing TV, we've been to a lot of museums, and this one is unlike any that I've ever been to before, and you should be really proud of what you've done here. Come on.
You know, those words make me feel pretty honored.
So it's so rare in my life when I say, you know, I've seen a lot of these, but this is the biggest one I've ever seen. And I know you're thinking, oh, it's the elephant he's talking about. It's not the elephant. Take a look at these. They're tires. I wish I had a huge poster board of that. Okay, Wayne, put it in drive.
Ah, got it. Get up there and steer it.
Okay. This is the Rock River. It's 299 miles long. It starts up in Horicon, Wisconsin, makes its way to Rock Island, Illinois, where it flows into the Mississippi River. My question is, how many communities are on the Rock River from Wisconsin to the Mississippi River?
Next time on John McGivern's Main Streets.
Buongiorno. Welcome to Gondola Romantica. Stan's fronte a te.
I work with a lot of artisans. That's why I opened the store, so we could showcase all the artisans that we have.
You know, somebody is watching this going, I bet those are my windows. You know that's happening.
They could be.
Officially, it's a hatchet. Don't tell, because it's not as fun to say.
Nobody will know.
Nobody will know.
I'm a highfalutin CEO.
There are 39 towns, cities, and villages on the Rock River, and the largest of those communities, right here, Rockford, Illinois. We thought we would talk about a regatta that happens here in Rockford on an annual basis. Who comes, where they come from?
They come from all over. Here in the Midwest, we have had people come from Australia and Alaska. We race 600 boats in 8 hours. There's probably over 6,000 spectators.
Like, what makes somebody good at this?
Leg strength. Everybody thinks it's all arms, and it's not. It's your legs.
Yeah.
And these seats move with you. Looks easy, but it's really not.
And do you work for the Y?
I do. I'm their rowing coordinator. They make it possible for everybody. It's inclusive. Every kid can come and try it.
Now wait, how many people fit in here?
2.
And they left their shoes here?
These shoes are tied down in a way that your feet will just pop out of here.
And once you're moving, is it just a rush?
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful. 5:30 if you want to come down.
Nice to see it, Jane. How did this happen?
A love for water skiing and wanting to bring it to our hometown. Yeah.
Like, I'm waiting for the boat. There's no boat. There's no one saying, "Oh my God, you fell again." I mean, it's very cool.
Yeah, that's the mission. It's to remove all the needs for for everybody just to have access, and that's why it was invented in the 50s, to bring the snow ski environment to the lake. No boat needed. All walks of life can do it. There is no easier way to learn to water ski. This is a little different than Uncle Joe slamming the gas and pulling you out behind the boat. I mean, if I can help you stand up off the ground from a seated position, you can get up and ride.
And who had to believe that this was a good idea for this to happen?
Well, this doesn't happen without the Rockford Park District.
Oh, good.
Their mission is to provide for their constituents. And when I brought this idea to them, they were like, let's make it happen.
How long ago was that?
2013, and then expanded to this big cable where you can see we've got 6 riders riding at the same time in 2017. Now water skiing can be a part of your active lifestyle. You don't have to wait for that family trip to the lake.
Is that great?
We're ultimately about water skiing here.
Yeah.
Get people on and teach a lifelong skill. If you learn to water ski as a kid, you can grow old with it. And that's the beauty of it. I think water skiing will be around forever.
Every year of my childhood, we would come to Rockford on Easter Sunday to visit my Uncle Jerry and Aunt Luann and my cousins Kathy, Kevin, and Dennis, who lived in this house. It looked so much bigger back then.
So this house was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright in 1949. This is also the only home that Frank Lloyd Wright designed to be wheelchair accessible. It was completed by spring of 1952, and there was only one family that ever lived here, and that was Ken and Phyllis Laurent with their 2 children. Ken Laurent relied on a wheelchair.
And it was built specifically for him and his needs.
Correct.
Did they not contact Frank Lloyd Wright and say, this is what we have?
They did. He writes, Dear Mr. Wright, to give you an idea of my situation, I must first tell you that I am a paraplegic. This explains my need for a home as practical and sensible as your style of architecture denotes. I should share that after Frank Lloyd Wright received the letter, within 2 weeks, he wrote back to Ken Laurent. His exact lines were, Dear Laurent, we are interested but can't guarantee costs. Who knows what they are today? So it did come in over budget.
They made it work though, didn't they?
They did make it work.
And were any other houses built to the specs of this house?
No, there are 60 Usonians, only 11 that are hemicycles, but this is the only one that is wheelchair accessible.
Yeah.
So this house is designed to be from the perspective of Ken Laurent in his wheelchair. So you see we have lower doorknobs, lower light switches. There's a lower rack for Ken's clothes. So one of Ken Laurent's requests was to have a wide hallway to accommodate the radius of the wheelchair, and Wright turned this into this little room, which is termed the garden room. And this just becomes a beautiful meditative place to sit.
And I was allowed to sit here as well. How great is that? Nice.
All the furniture that you see here, these chairs, tables, designed by Frank Lloyd Wright or close apprentices at Taliesin. Wright felt that a fireplace was central to any living space.
This is really remarkable. And the fact that the one family lived here and now that's what's honored.
Yes, and this house really helped him to focus on his capabilities, not his disability.
Right.
That is the true gift that Frank Lloyd Wright gave to him.
In 2001, a group of amateur and professional paleontologists from this museum were in Hell Creek, Montana on a dig. Okay, on the very last day of that dig, they discovered the best preserved and the most complete juvenile Tyrannosaurus Rex ever found. So Jane, the name they gave this dinosaur, lives here at the Burpee Museum of Natural History, which incidentally started as a WPA project in 1941. All of that right here in Rockford. Every community owes a debt of gratitude to its veterans. We join the people of Rockford honoring and remembering all of those who served. Have you ever been to that place? That place where there's always something new to see? Where there's always something new to learn? That place with so much beauty that it fills you up with joy. That place that speaks to your mind and your heart, where inspiration feeds your soul, and where the wonder of the natural world is always growing. Ryman Gardens at Iowa State University. This is that place. Want to wear something that's going to support your favorite show? Shop at Main Street Store. Proceeds go to help us get next season into production, so come on.
Go shopping at mainstreets.tv.
You're the mayor.
I am.
How
My
are you,
name's
sir?
Tom. How are you?
Good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you.
You know there's more, terabytes more, at mainstreets.tv because our editor can't throw anything away.
Find me on social media or go to our website. This is going to be fun.
Oh, this is so reminiscent of my days of being on the hockey team at St. Peter and Paul Grade School. They kicked me off. I wore figure skates that were white.
We are the direct American Hockey League affiliates to the Blackhawks, so you can see Rockford Ice Hogs skating on the ice surface here tonight, and tomorrow night they could be playing in Chicago with the Blackhawks. We've been blessed with an awesome fan base. We've had great community support. It's been fun.
Left side scores! And Rockford takes a 1-0 lead.
This is just an awesome facility for hockey, for concerts, basketball, whatever. You feel like you're truly on top of the action.
And what does this team mean to Rockford?
I think this is a true identifier to the city of Rockford, and we've been able to really bring something positive to the community.
That's perfect. That's the Tinker Swiss Cottage. It's one of a handful of Swiss-style homes that remain in the United States. It was built by Robert Tinker after he visited Switzerland in the 1860s, and he was inspired by the style of homes in Switzerland. It now inspires people as a museum. You've been a Rockford resident since?
Since 2004. Then I've raised my family here, opened my business here, made all of my friends here, and I just love living here. You feel like you know everybody, but it's still big enough. You get that diversity. You can basically get everything without all of the annoyances of a big city, like traffic and all of that,
And you have a business called Crust and Crumbles, Artisan Bakery.
We specialize in French pastries and artisan sourdough bread, so a lot of croissants.
And did you know that business as far as downtown would be good for a bakery?
Yes, here it's really becoming the heart of the city, and
which makes it so much easier to live in, doesn't it?
absolutely. And living here, working here is just more easy, and it just feels good.
Rockford, these main streets and State Street speak to me.
There's nowhere else I'd rather be. The heart and soul of communities right here.
Oh, we're done?
You're done.
Good.
Love this guy.
I heard if you pull the finger, one of those rockets will go off. I know it happens to me. It's unbelievable.
Oh, he's got that spider web on him good.
Rockford, Illinois. I can't say Illinois. I feel like I'm having a heart attack.
All right, that's all the time I've got, so. All right.